But last one before we get out of here, let's revisit Luka real quick because we caught a lot of flack for our Luka takes. I mean, people said we're racist and all of this stuff because we took a different view towards Luka. And I thought back on it. I said maybe the word overrated was wrong. Maybe should have went with overhyped. Maybe. But again, I don't think that we said anything negative about his game. I think that we said that Luka was a great player, top 5 to 10 player in the league, maybe crowned a little bit too early, maybe saying he's going to be like the next LeBron was just pushing back on that, saying that was a bit too much. I still don't see the fault in pointing that out, especially with the way his team was struggling, and it's showing that Seth Curry really mattered to that team.
Mm-hmm. That was bonehead move letting him go.
It was funny when the comments I said to one of the people, I'm like, maybe y'all are missing Seth. No, he's not that important. I'm like, maybe not statistically, but he could go get his own bucket.
He was very important because right now when like Maxi Kleber misses time, they're like, we got to get Kleber back. I'm like, so Seth wasn't important, but Maxi is. That's a team in shambles.
Yeah, like you can't be hanging your hat on Maxi Kleber to get you over the top. Are they in playoff contention yet?
Yeah.
I mean, they're hanging out there. They're going to get in the playoffs. I solid 4 or 5 seed probably. I think they're going to make a move, but they're another team, man. They have not signed a real free agent. Like, have they ever signed a real free agent?
They have not.
They've made great trades.
And the thing is, go ahead.
No, I was going to say they've made some good trades, like Michael Finley, the Steve Nash, and the Jason Kidds and all of that. But maybe outside of Tyson Chandler, I don't know if that was even free. That may have been a free agent move. But after they let Tyson Chandler go, I mean.
Yeah. Just the whole thing with Luka. And like, I got time today because they were like, oh, you guys are racist. And if you actually I went back and listened to the transcript and I was like, maybe I was tripping. Literally called him a Hall of Famer if he just keeps doing what he's doing now. I didn't even say he needs to get better. I said he's a Hall of Famer if he keeps doing what he's doing right now. And he's a top 5 player in the league. And people will compare him to Larry Bird. And as far as like skill set and things they can do, I have zero problems with that comparison. I think it's a fair comparison. When people start saying the career he's going to have, I'm like, this kid got bounced out of the playoffs. And granted, it was his second year. He carried that team to the playoffs, but he got bounced out in 6 games by a team that got bounced out in the second round. And we know the Clippers people are saying they should have gone further. They were a contender, but the team he lost to, it's not even like AD, where in AD's best years, they lost to the Warriors when the Warriors went on the title runs. And like, this isn't here to say that Luka hasn't done anything. I'm sure he has a very promising career ahead of him. But when people are putting him on the same echelon as like a Larry Bird, who's got 3 MVPs and 3 rings, and LeBron, who's got 4 MVPs and 5 rings, I'm like, we need to slow our roll there.
Are you calling 5 this year?
I'm hoping he gets the 5th one.
Okay.
But when I look at Luka, like, he's going to have a great career. We just don't know if it's going to be on that level. And you think about other greats. So like Charles Barkley was first team All-NBA 5 times and second team 5 times. So 10 times he was the 10th best player in the league, won an MVP. And then Karl Malone, 11-time first teamer, 2 MVPs, both of those guys, 0 rings. And if Karl Malone beat MJ in 97 and 98, and if Barkley beat MJ in 93, we look at both of them in a very different light. But that is literally how razor thin it is between you being one of the greatest players of all time in that echelon of a Larry Bird and a LeBron, and being where Karl Malone and where Charles Barkley are. And even Dirk, which I think is a better comparison, like same team, both European. Dirk won an MVP. Dirk won a ring. Dirk's still not even in that echelon. And Dirk is a once-in-a-generation type player also. So what I'm saying is we understand the talent Luka has. We like Luka. But when you're already saying he's the top 5 player all time, and you're not comparing him to the skill set of these players, but saying his career is going to have the same type of trajectory, we need to slow our roll. Because the line between a great player and a Hall of Famer and an all-timer, like top 5, It is razor thin, but there are multiple rings that have to come with that, and he hasn't done that yet, and it's not his fault. But we can't crown him just yet with what he's done.
And that was the point of the entire conversation. It's like, hey, we think it can happen. Just let's wait for it to happen, because there are other players who have played at a really high level, who have drugged teams that weren't that great to the second round, some to the third round. LeBron has drugged bad teams to the finals. You know what I mean? Like, let him do some of this shit. Like, let me see him do what Dame has done so far before I start calling him Larry Bird. You know what I mean? Like, let's just can we get to the second round? And for the people who are like, the host doesn't want to see him improve, or how can you say that he's at his peak already? Look, man, I don't care if Luka improves or not. It does not change my basketball viewing experience. I'm still going to watch him. I'm still going to comment on the things that I see based on what I watch and based on other things that I listen to. The great thing about being a talking head is I get to talk no matter what happens. So once I get the information, I now get to talk about it. So me making a prognostication, that's part of the job based on what I've seen. Guess what? We've not seen someone come into the league and dominate at the level that Luka has with the numbers that he has. We've not seen that before this early in a player's career.
And it's like actual production. It's not even like somebody's got to score. Somebody's got his production is real. But when I look at him, I think of there's a scene in Pulp Fiction where they finish cleaning the car and they're like, man, this car looks great. Like, we're good to go. And the wolf is like, well, let's not start sucking. I'm not going to say the whole line. It's like, let's not start sucking on each other just yet. And that's the thing with Luka. Like, when they say he's going to be a LeBron, he's going to be, and I'm like, well, let's not start just yet. Like, yes, just like in the movie, like they had the car cleaned. It looked promising. Like they were out of the woods, but there were still some steps that needed to happen. And with Luka, it's like, yes, the skill set is there. It's looking real promising, but there's some things that need to happen first before we can just go all in. And I feel like with the skill set and promise there, he's shown people are like, nope, we're all in. We've seen enough.
Right. And that's all we were saying. And just real quick, back to me talking about him at his ceiling, because I do want to hit that. We've never seen somebody come in as polished as Luka is, right? And how far up do you go from 29, 9, and 9?
Yeah, like, it's not that we don't want him to get better. It's like he's so good this young. Like, we can't even fathom what getting so much better would even look like.
Exactly. And the parts of his game that I think get better are just the efficiency. I think the usage goes down, but I don't think the numbers really change that much. There's not much space for his numbers to go up, for him to also play with other productive players, because another guy was like, I engaged with, I said, maybe because of his high usage rate, he's not getting the best out of his other players. Legit, he's dragging them. I'm like, maybe.
That's someone who doesn't understand, because James Harden in his best years, usage rate was up around the same. So was Russ. And we were like gawking over the numbers, but it's what else are you doing with it? So everyone was hammering James Harden because you're producing like this, but what are you doing in the playoffs when the going gets tough? And like Luka's usage will have to go down if his team is going to get better. And I'm not saying his usage will probably go down because they'll probably get other really good players, but the high usage rate and the numbers typically do not equate to like playoff success and championships. It just doesn't.
Championship basketball, because you're going to wear yourself out, and then also players need rhythm. Like you just need to touch the ball. You need to be able to do some stuff. And I had some inside information from Denver last year, and they had some issues with the way that they were playing. There were other players who could do more than what they were asked to do, but everything ran through Jokic and Jamal Murray, and that didn't allow some players to show their full skill set. Guess what we're seeing Jeremy Grant do right now? Again, good stats, bad team, but he's doing a lot more on the court than what he was given the opportunity to in Denver, and that's because of what they had with Jokic and Jamal Murray. And all I'm saying is, don't get me wrong, that team overachieved last year, so obviously it appears that was the right formula for that particular team. But when you see a team what we think as underachieving, maybe the usage should drop and the other players should do a little bit more. And it and it may not even show up on the stat sheet. It's just, bro, we play pickup basketball. You know, if you go 3-4 times down and you don't touch the ball, what you're going to do when you get that corner three? You're probably
I'm shooting it. I'm firing it, and I'm going to miss it because I have no rhythm.
Exactly. Like, bro, I don't even need to shoot. I just need to touch the ball. Let me feel the game. And the same thing happens in the NBA. And oftentimes we get people who have never played a game of basketball in their life, never played pickup, who don't understand flow. They don't understand intangibles. And they want to just talk about stats. Well, if you look at his defensive rating, bro, I can look at Luka and tell you he's not a great defender. I listened to Mark Cuban on a podcast this morning and agree that Luka's not a great defender. So miss me when you tell me that Luka had a better defensive rating than LeBron in his first 2 years. Guess who people are more afraid of defending them?
Yeah.
Right now, old-ass 18-year LeBron got straps just athletically. I'm not even talking about instincts, just athletically better than Luka. Not to mention that defensive rating is a team rating, is a team grade anyways. Like, who else is on the court when this defensive rating happens? Like, yeah, man, I'm glad we both were able to get that off because it was just fucking nonsense, man.
It was nonsense.
You got anything else, man? Because I was supposed to let you go like 2 minutes ago.
No, this has been great. Thanks for having me, man.
All right, man. Yeah. Hopefully you'll be back soon. Don't hang up. Hold on. You got to go at 2:30, right? Or
3. I'm good.
3. All right, cool. Yeah, this was great. Yeah, we're done here. Don't hang up, Eric.